Hey there, it's Osman with House Einstein. I'm out here in Southwest Longmont. I have a new listing coming up and needed to meet with the professional photographer to verify the quality of the photos that are for this listing that's going to go active this weekend. And I also wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk to you, to share with you some thoughts about what's going on in the market. And it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet since the most devastating wildfire in Colorado history occurred. And that happened right here in Boulder County, impacting Louisville and Superior. Nearly 1,100 homes were destroyed. And it is devastating for those that lost their homes and their loved ones. Pets, the family members that are non-human, as well as what appears to be at least one, maybe more than one fatality of humankind. It's a massive loss, and there's no words that can put it right or console those that have lost everything. And it'll be years for those people to recover, and maybe they won't ever recover from the experiences of the fire and the aftermath of the fire. It's 2 weeks now. We are back to work, and in the immediate aftermath of the fire, we were running around in scramble mode. I shared generators and heaters and to try to help those we knew to sustain themselves for a few days until things could, there's no normalcy, but things could at least become stable. And now there's no getting around it. It's time to focus on our work. And in my company, that's all about helping people make smart decisions around real estate. The day of the fire, I had finished writing a post with a forecast for 2022. And I thought with 3 likely rate increases, the market would likely cool a little bit. But there is no catalyst for more supply that could even remotely address the demand of housing here in Boulder County. So my forecast was largely that we're going to see a gentle decrease in the rate of appreciation and maybe some more opportunity for buyers, always encouraging our buyers to be more selective and more careful, and always encouraging our sellers to look at alternatives, because real estate is such an amazing investment and such a fantastic asset class when you look at it from an investment perspective. And sell the ones that are the weakest houses, the ones that are in not so great locations, the ones that have some compromises if you need to, but generally we actually try to encourage our sellers to not sell. But when it's time, we do our best to advise them to maximize the sale price and minimize the risk, handle this incredible market where multiple offers are the norm. In the last few years, we've been very fortunate at House Einstein. We've had year after year of increasing business performance with more clients, more deals, and more success for the team, as well as for buyers and sellers that have chosen us to represent them. We've had to adjust our strategies. We've had to accommodate fewer contingencies and advise our buyers to choose very carefully which houses they're willing to waive those contingencies on, and how do we get market intelligence to encourage them to offer what is a reasonable and fair number given the competition, and not necessarily spend more than they necessarily needed to. For sellers, it's a little different, and I'll be talking about that more in stories this year, but it's often a roller coaster. The deal that actually closes is often not the deal that originally went under contract. And much of that is hidden from buyers and sellers that don't have actual knowledge of the deal or not participants in the deal. Well, the fires have added an unexpected shift to the market. There are about 1,100 groups of people that are now figuring out what to do about their housing. Short-term housing is obviously their most pressing concern. Many of them are going to move away, but for those that choose to remain, their families, their friends, their schools are all centrally located in Louisville and Superior. and they are either going to seek short and long-term rentals, or they're going to rebuild, and they're going to be looking to buy. A portion of those who lost their homes have owned those homes for decades, maybe were even paid off on their mortgages, have ample resources to enter the market and increase the competition for a limited number of homes that are available. If I had to guess, I would say 20 to 25% of those homes that were lost were owned by people that have the resources to become buyers this quarter. And the rest are likely going to be seeking rentals or relocating entirely. Some will sell investment properties, condos that are here in the market, their first homes perhaps, that they turned into investment vehicles. They may sell those to create a liquidity event to have the capital for a down payment. So there may be some of those that come to market this spring. Certainly that was the case in the 4 Mile fire, which destroyed a few hundred homes, and was my first experience with fire-driven sellers and buyers. And in fact, one of my clients did acquire a property that was sold by a 4 Mile fire victim who had an investment property downtown and needed that money to go buy a replacement home. That was fortunate for her, and fortunate for them too, that she was there to buy at a time when they needed the money to go get it down, to put down towards a home they were acquiring. So in short, we're now looking at 4 potential rate increases, although it's anyone's guess whether those will actually occur. We're still in the time of COVID, yet mobility is increasing. People are recognizing the amazing quality of life out here, and there's more people moving here despite fire risk, despite the extreme increases in home prices and the challenges that buyers face to acquire homes here. They're still coming. So likely the first quarter and second quarter are going to see just as strong as last year. I don't think there's going to be a wholesale cooling of the market, and it's going to be really challenging for the fire victims as well as for those that have chosen to relocate here. People are potentially going to accelerate their plans. 2 of our clients have already chosen to do that in the last week. 1 is now under contract to acquire. They had already planned to move here as part of a work relocation, and they were thinking they might rent something short-term and then buy. They decided to scrap that plan and go ahead and buy when the right home appeared. And that was just this past weekend. They did find one after they were targeting 2. One of them went way above what they were willing to go to. The other one they got quite lucky on. And it's a short commute to where they work. And this listing is coming to market faster because the sellers feel like it's the right move to go ahead and put this property on the market ahead of when a lot of people are going to be shopping, which is coming. The market typically grows from January through about June in intensity, as well as inventory, so opportunities to buy. The selection increases from now through June, but so does the competition. And because of the Marshall fire, we're now going to see a lot more buyers in the market, and that's going to make things even more challenging for our clients. It's not that we can't achieve success. We have. For the last several years, we've seen increasing success for our clients, but it's not going to be an easy year for them. And the pressures to buy and to waive contingencies, to offer more than a list, are going to increase. So I'm expecting it to be a rather intense first quarter. And as far as the Marshall fire goes, the last piece I want to end on is something that I shared with my team after the shooting at the King Soopers in the spring of last year, and that is, unfortunately, there are people that are going to try to take advantage of this situation. And that means there's a lot of scams already coming into Boulder. People have fake GoFundMes. They take advantage of those that are generous and trying to help our community. In fact, I would advise to avoid GoFundMe entirely. It takes 2.9% plus they request a tip of 10 to 15% on top of that for any donations. If you really want to help, you may want to donate to the Boulder Community Foundation. It's a well-regarded and highly reputable nonprofit that will absolutely put that money to good use. And avoid the GoFundMes, which is very selective and perhaps exclusionary to those that don't have the internet resources, don't have the friends and family that will vouch for them and their needs, it might make more sense to donate directly to an organization like the Boulder Community Foundation. I'm on the board of 2 nonprofits. I'm not asking you to donate to either of those because they don't directly impact housing and they won't directly serve those that have lost their homes. So if you're going to donate and help our community, I would suggest that you strongly look at the nonprofit organizations that are known to be legitimate and have significant, long-standing impact and are very efficient with the use of donations. It doesn't all end up in administration. It goes directly, or much of it goes directly to those that are impacted, and it's spent in very intelligent ways with an organization like the Boulder Community Foundation. So that's it. I hope that's helpful to you guys. We're going to start resuming our content from this point going forward. And I hope that you have an amazing new year. And thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you next time.